Friend! Oh, new friend! Oh, friend! Please be my friend! Oh, friend!
Hello and welcome once again to Cheap Shot Entertainment. You are the Cheap Shot Nation. I am your host Luke, and we're going to take you through everything that happened at Christmas Chaos in Derby. It is the Aspire Wrestling Alliance, and it's the first video I've done on these guys, even though I've seen quite a few of their shows. They do a fantastic job in the Derby city centre community. All of their shows go to raising money for really good causes. This time it was for the homeless in Derby, raising money for the homeless people over Christmas. Fantastic show, and I'm going to take you through all the matches. Some familiar faces, some not so familiar faces. It is an academy that relies on helping out young children as well, gives them wrestling training, improves their confidence, and I can get fully behind that working in a school as well. Fantastic show, and lots to look forward to in the years to come with some of the tiny wrestlers that are training with Paul Malin and the academy. So I'm going to take you through everything that happened at the Aspire Wrestling Alliance. Christmas Chaos took place on the 9th of December, and yeah, like I say, really good show. And if you like this video and you want to see more from us, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, drop us a subscription, hit the like button, and make sure you suplex that subscribe button as well, and the notification bell, so we can tell you when we upload new videos and new content. Anyway, we're going to get on with the show, and we're going to jump straight into the first match at Christmas Chaos. It is Jack Spider, Itsy Bitsy Spider, versus DDA Diamond Dave Andrews. Very much a grudge match, this, from what I've seen in Aspire Wrestling. Lots of matches between these two in the shows that I've seen, and lots of banter between them as well. Definitely a rivalry brewing between these two. Should be said that Jack Spider is an incredible beatboxer, and you know, like, people are booing him, and I'm like, no, give him a mic. I want to hear him drop a beat, and no one's listening to me. But Jack, if you're watching, fantastic mate, keep it up, absolutely brilliant. You could win beatboxing championships with things like that. You could go up against Michael Winslow from the Police Academy, but you're probably too young to know or even wonder what the Police Academy is. Anyway, there's also a very good wrestler going against Diamond Dave Andrews, a veteran of the local wrestling scene here in Derby, Nottingham and Leicester. Seen him in Hope shows, seen him in House of Pain shows as well, and he does other things around the area as well. Very, very much a veteran of the local area in terms of wrestling. But yeah, quite an even match. Starts off with Diamond Dave Andrews coming out with Scarlett. Scarlett is dressed up like Mrs. Claus, and dishing out sweets to the kids and things like that. There's Christmas hats and tinsel around the posts, and they really made a big deal of it being a Christmas Chaos match. Should be noted, well, this isn't the Christmas Chaos match, there is a Christmas Chaos match. It should be noted that because it's in a church, they can't get away with calling things hardcore matches, or, you know, no disqualifications or all that kind of stuff, so they have to call it Christmas Chaos. Starts off with a handshake from Diamond Dave Andrews. He completely leaves Jack Spider hanging. You naughty boy, Diamond Dave Andrews, naughty, you're on the naughty list. Puts his thumb up, gives him a raspberry and a nana sort of hand signal, and yeah, this really puts Jack Spider in a predicament here. He's been taken off his game. He usually comes out and very focused, but it takes the focus out of him, and from that point for about 5 minutes Diamond Dave Andrews is just messing around with him. Lots of rolling around and lots of antics from Diamond Dave Andrews, trying to get the crowd into the match, which they do eventually. a certain point, there is Diamond Dave Andrews goes to attack Jack Spider in the corner. He's playing possum. He calls for a timeout and tricks Diamond Dave Andrews, slamming his face into the turnbuckle. Lots of trash talking then to Scarlett on the outside, and also Diamond Dave Andrews while he's beating him up. Suplexes, lots of stomping. There's punches as well, chops, and other wrestling moves. There's some action outside the ring, lots of action inside the ring, and the match eventually ends with Jack Spider taunting Scarlett. Scarlett then slaps Jack Spider. He then is knocked off his feet a little bit, bit weary, and Diamond Dave Andrews hits the Diamond Cutter for the win. Your winner in this match is the veteran Diamond Dave Andrews. Good account of himself though, Jack Spider. I want to see and hear more of your beatboxing in the future. I'm incredibly impressed with this young up and coming wrestler, and Diamond Dave Andrews is always awesome. So yeah, good match to start the show. Very pantomime-ish, being around Christmas, trying to get the crowd involved and booing and cheering and things. But yeah, good match to start the show. Very impressed so far with the Spider Wrestling Alliance. And so on to the second match of the afternoon. It features the Fallen and the Teenage Trailblazers. The Fallen are flanked by their manager as well, so there's potential for outside interference. Again, another very even match. The Teenage Trailblazers are very much the crowd favourite. The Fallen, the face paint, and very much the bad guys of the piece. And yeah, there is outside interference from the Fallen's manager, and basically, long story short, the Teenage Trailblazers start off really well. The Fallen get back into the match with some distractions of the referee and really start wailing on the Teenage Trailblazers. Just as the Teenage Trailblazers start to come back into the match, getting some momentum, they are tripped, and that leads to a double team where the Teenage Trailblazers distract the referee inadvertently, a crossover neck breaker from the Fallen, and that takes out the Teenage Trailblazers. Interference from the outside, the referee did not see it, and a win for the Fallen. This rivalry is sure to continue in coming shows, but yeah, a really good match. Good tag team action from two very young teams. Like I say, the Teenage Trailblazers very much speak for themselves, and the Fallen have a really good gimmick as well. Very much a sort of dark cult-ish type team. And like I say, really good match. First time I've seen the Fallen actually win a match as well, so that was quite good. Really enjoyed the match. Love tag team wrestling, and the dynamic in tag team wrestling is all about the psychology, distracting the referee and doing all that, and they seem to be doing a really good job at training these young men and women of how to do that and get the crowd either behind you or against you. And yeah, really good match. Looking forward to seeing more of these two teams going at each other in future shows. But your winner for this match is the Fallen, and they take out the Teenage Trailblazers, who get a round of applause as they leave through the curtain from the crowd. So in the next match, we see the ring announcer in the ring ready to announce the two combatants out to the ring. The Teenage Trailblazers have no longer gone through the curtain, as we see Tommy Taylor getting thrown back out of the curtain by Jordan Lee, and we don't get this revealed until he comes out of the curtain, obviously. Neither of them are introduced into the match, but what a great way to start the match, completely unexpected, and it kicks off a really good contest between two guys who have been rivals for a long time in Aspire Wrestling, so I understand. You've got the treacherous Tommy Taylor and the chaotic one in Jordan Lee. Difficult to discern these two, which one's heel, which one's face, but the crowd is very much behind Jordan Lee, based on the fact that they do not like Tommy Taylor. Even though Tommy Taylor is a really, really good wrestler, obviously he's very treacherous, and he turns on his tag team partners. He's not liked in House of Pain Wrestling or in Aspire Wrestling, and yeah, he's a really good heel wrestler, and I can't see him in any other role based on that. But Jordan Lee, again, young talent in the ring with Tommy Taylor, put on a really, really good match. Obviously, Jordan Lee gets the initial flurry by attacking Tommy Taylor as he's coming out to the ring. Doesn't even give him a chance to make his entrance before the match starts. Eventually the match does get started, the bell rings, and we have a match on our hands. Like I say, Jordan Lee got the better of the early exchanges. It wasn't long before Tommy Taylor managed to turn the tides with a reversal into the post and starts working Jordan Lee's arm, and this all happens on the outside. This would come into play in the finish as well. From there, Tommy Taylor just takes apart Jordan Lee, like I say, completely focusing on the arm. Jordan Lee then does have a small flurry of comebacks, but he cannot put anything together long enough to take out Tommy Taylor and his momentum. So the match ends with Tommy Taylor super kicking Jordan Lee right upside the jaw, knocking him out, getting the 1, 2, 3. Your winner in this match is Tommy Taylor. Always enjoyed Tommy Taylor's matches, starting to really get behind Jordan Lee as well, and between the two of them it's a bit like a Lucas Archer versus Tommy Taylor in House of Pain Wrestling. There's always going to be a rivalry that will get you watching and get you involved in what is happening in the match, and Jordan Lee and Tommy Taylor have that kind of dynamic, have that kind of heel-face relationship where you want to boo one of them and cheer for the other one, and that is what's really good about these two going at each other inside of the squared circle. But your winner in this match is the treacherous Tommy Taylor, or should I say Timmy Toilet, as he is lovingly known by the Aspire Wrestling Alliance crowd. So, your next match of the afternoon is the main event of the first half, and it is the match named after the show. It is the Christmas Chaos match, and as I said earlier, they cannot call it a hardcore match, even though it is a hardcore match, because of it being inside of a church hall, so they have to call it a Christmas Chaos match. Now, in this match, anything goes. There is weapons being used throughout the match, a homemade kendo stick, a couple of steel chairs, and even an inflatable snowman. It just gets incredibly daft and also very fun all at the same time. Should be noted incidentally that the kendo stick didn't quite last the beating that it took, but the wrestlers thankfully did in this match. But the two combatants in this match are Skittles, and he is going against Rourke. Not the first time these two have gone against each other. Rourke has a history of running off from Skittles when the going gets tough for him, but he cannot escape in this match. There is no countouts, there is no disqualifications, and weapons do count. So Skittles gets the better of the early exchanges before Rourke manages to turn the tide. Rourke then beats down on Skittles for quite a while, bringing in a steel chair at the beginning of the match and eventually using that steel chair to take out Skittles. Also brings in a kendo stick, starts beating on Skittles with that. Fair play to Skittles, he does come back, manages to get enough of a gap to go outside the ring for his own weapons. And what do you think it is? A wrestler called Skittles. He gets a big bag of Skittles and starts hitting Rourke with it. Now I've got to say that would probably hurt quite a bit, because Skittles are little tiny things, little tiny sweets, and yeah, I'm guessing that probably hurt when he was hitting him round the face with those. There's some chops involved. There's there's even a cannonball roll into the corner from Rourke on Skittles. It looks like Skittles is down and out. Rourke goes outside to get more weapons, manages to find a ladder, sets Skittles up on the ladder in the corner, goes to hit another cannonball, misses completely, takes out the ladder. He gets rather a nasty gash on his shoulder as a result of this, and that's when the tide turns for Skittles and against Rourke for this one. Skittles eventually manages to capitalise on this. He hits a spear, a Superman punch and a frock bottom. And if I've got a picture, I'll put it up here so you know what I mean when I say frock bottom, frock and roll. And yeah, your winner is Skittles. Rourke is not coming back from that one. This rivalry, I think, is far from over, but this particular part of the rivalry, this part of the story, is now settled and done, with Skittles picking up the win and then sharing the Skittles out to the faithful Derby crowd afterwards. And yeah, another really good match. Very hard hitting. It was very quiet for a lot of it as well, because I don't think a lot of the crowd had seen what we call a hardcore match. Chairs being swung, people being hit by chairs, people going through ladders, people being hit by a bag of Skittles. Yeah, it went quiet for quite a lot of it, but the crowd very much behind Skittles. Very lovable character, very colourful character. And yeah, so Skittles finally picks up his win against Rourke. Like I say, it's far from over, but this particular chapter is now done and dusted with the Christmas Chaos match. And that concludes the first half of the event. So far, so good. Definitely get yourself down to Aspire Wrestling if you're in the Derby area, Derby City area, Derbyshire. They travel around, do quite a few shows. Even done one in Kirkcallam, so they go as far as sort of the edge of Nottinghamshire. But they're all easy to get to from the Derbyshire area, and very much recommended to go down there. Also, they do raffles where you can win free tickets. So the tickets for today's particular show were absolutely free because we won them doing the raffle. So get yourself down to the show. The next show is next Saturday, I believe. Still selling raffle tickets, the big Christmas raffle over at Aspire Wrestling Alliance, with a lot of the money going towards the good work that they continue to do within the Derby City area. And the penultimate match of the afternoon featured Anonymous versus Arthur Kane. Two very interesting characters. Arthur Kane, bit of a throwback to London, sort of Cockney wide boy type things, 1950s gangsters, that kind of thing, but very much a crowd favourite in this one, playing to the crowd. And has also had matches against Anonymous, who is part of a tag team as well. And Anonymous, who wears the V for Vendetta mask and also has that printed on his luchador mask as well, which is pretty cool. So again, very even match. Crowd probably flatlining at this point because of what they've just seen in the Christmas Chaos match. I mean, how do you follow that? And these two guys tried to do a good job. Not much wrong with the match. I just think the crowd and myself were just completely out of it because of what we've just witnessed with the Christmas Chaos match, and it is directly after the interval as well, which is difficult placement. They're so high up the card and right after the interval. But both guys put on a good show. Again, there's some fighting on the outside. Anonymous does dominate the match quite a bit. Arthur Kane does come back a few times, but it's not enough to take out Anonymous. Anonymous does finally win with the Shining Wizard on Arthur Kane for the pin, and yeah, and again, another good match. Like I say, difficult placement on the card. Definitely looking forward to seeing more of these two. I think the characters are really good. Some development to get the crowd going a little bit more might be in order. But apart from that, again, two young wrestlers, up and coming, trying to find their way in the wrestling world. I have nothing bad to say about these two at all. Put on a really good show, really good match, very entertaining. And yeah, your winner is Anonymous. And so we move on to the main event of the evening. It is a 6-man tag match featuring Paul Malin and Border Patrol. And they are going against the current Aspire Wrestling Alliance champion and trainer, Ronan, and the current and first ever Aspire Wrestling Alliance tag team champions in Martial Law. Again, there's a lot of bad blood between all of these guys. Martial Law beat Border Patrol in the finals of the Tag Team Championship tournament, and also Ronan managed to keep his Aspire Wrestling Alliance Championship against Malin when we saw them last in the Emmanuel Church in Derby. By cheating, basically. Malin won the championship, the referee ordered it to continue, and Ronan managed to keep his championship after all of that. So yeah, lots of bad blood, lots of things to go to move on with in this match. But the main glue that's holding this match together is the rivalry between Paul Malin and the Scourge Ronan over the championship. Takes a while, lots of psychology being used in this match. Takes a while for Paul Malin to get his hands on Ronan because he keeps tagging himself out. The crowd are really behind Border Patrol and Paul Malin. Lots of really good moves. You've got the high flying El Despacito doing a lot of the hard work in the ring, getting beaten down by Martial Law and Ronan at one point with the referee distracted. Definitely plays the whipping boy in this match due to his size in the ring. It does eventually get a tag. Paul Malin gets in the ring. Martial Law is taken out as well as Border Patrol, and they are sort of surrounding the ring and sort of down and out completely. And then we get a showdown between Paul Malin and the Scourge Ronan. Eventually, there's chops, there's European uppercuts, there is full-on straight right hands being thrown between these two, and the crowd is loving it. There is a spot as well where one member of Martial Law suplexes El Despacito onto the rest of the match competitors to the outside. Brilliant spot. Unfortunately, one of the wrestlers did get injured, having taken that spot from the outside. I was sat on the second row where they did this, and was right on the end. Yeah, it was interesting to be that close to a spot like this, but wow, kudos to everyone who said, yeah, okay, let's do it. Especially El Despacito for getting thrown off the top rope and landing on everybody, putting their bodies on the line for charity. I mean, that's just fantastic, isn't it? Really. And yeah, so the match does finally end with all the wrestlers out, with Paul Malin and Ronan inside the ring. Paul Malin manages to get the better of Ronan, puts him in the crossface for the win. Ronan taps out. Paul Malin gets his win over the Scourge Ronan, and that is sure to lead to another championship match in the future at Aspire Wrestling Alliance for that Aspire Wrestling Alliance Championship. So your winners are Border Patrol and Paul Malin in this one. Fantastic match. Used all 6 competitors in this match as well. Really well used for the whole match, and really enjoyed this one. Definitely picked me up after the Christmas Chaos match. Yeah, and I'm you know, the story's being told between the two tag teams and Paul Mayland and the Scourge, Ronan. There is a lot more to be had from these 6 guys. So excellent match, and an excellent show overall. Definitely get yourself some tickets to Aspire Wrestling Alliance. And so that is everything that went down at Christmas Chaos on the 9th of December for Aspire Wrestling Alliance. And it was overall a really good show from top to bottom. I suggest if you're in the Derby area and you want to go and see some wrestling, take your family. It'll cost you, if it's 2 adults, 2 kids, it'll cost you 20 quid. You can't get 2.5 hours worth of entertainment for 20 quid pretty much anywhere else. Even a cinema ticket. We went to the cinema, it cost 30 quid for 2 adults, 2 kids, plus your drinks and everything else as well. They do have concession stands, they do have merchandise on sale as well, and of course everything goes to charity. The charity for the Christmas Chaos set of shows is helping out the homeless in Derby, helping out the homeless charities, getting the homeless people food and things over Christmas. Aspire Wrestling helps out the local communities, helps out the local children, gets them confident with who they are and everything else, gives them genuine wrestling training, gives them something to work towards and gives them a focus, and they can't put a price on that in terms of their education and their future lives in this world. So get yourself down to Aspire Wrestling and support the really good work that they do over there. Like I say, the next show is next week. It's the 15th of December. So check out that, aspirewrestling.co.uk, or you can check them out on Facebook. Speaking of Facebook, you can check us out on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Don't forget to back body drop that subscribe button. Body slam that notification bell. Give us a thumbs up. And share us with your friends. You have been the Cheap Shot Nation. I have been your host Luke, and this is everything that happened at Aspire Wrestling Alliance. That is everything for this video. We've got lots more to do. Christmas is coming, so if this is the last video you watch from us before Christmas, Merry Christmas from Cheap Shot Entertainment. Everybody at Cheap Shot Entertainment wishes you, the Cheap Shot Nation, a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We've got all the videos that we need to do before Christmas comes, and we'll do those, and hopefully you will watch them. So in the meantime, I will see you next time on Cheap Shot Entertainment. Goodbye.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish